everybody. Welcome. Welcome to our weekly listing session. If you haven't joined us before, welcome. And for those of you that are here every Saturday or lots of Saturdays, or maybe this is your second or third Saturday, welcome. So you may notice that things are a little bit different today. I am actually not live. Well, as I'm recording this live, but you are not watching it live. So I needed to go out of town. I am out of town this weekend. So I decided to film our session ahead of time. If you have been with me for a while, I've only done this, I think, maybe once or twice over the last year plus. The other alternative, though, is to not have our session. So I didn't want to do that. So here we are. I'm going to do my best, though, to participate in the chat. So you may see me in the live chat. It's just that I couldn't do the video live or our session live. So anyhow, we'll still have fun. Don't worry. Just a quick background before we jump into some housekeeping details and then we get listing. Actually, let me back up one more second in my head. For those of you that are new, welcome. My name is Lael Kankar, and I have a business called Lael by Mail. And pre-COVID, I was traveling all over, doing lots of teaching at independent scrapbook stores, teaching at events, different things, but all over the world. And then COVID hit. And so that has definitely changed. So I have a business called Lael by Mail, and I've had that actually formally, where I've only been doing this for a little over 2 years now, but I have been kind of teaching on the side for many years and also offering project kits by mail. So when COVID hit, I decided that I would do just a couple videos and talk about something that was very near and dear to my heart, traveler's notebooks. I've been using traveler's notebooks for, 6 years now maybe, and they are just my thing. A lot of us struggle to kind of find whatever our thing is, and traveler's notebooks for me are like the perfect solution. So if you are new and you're not sure what a traveler's notebook is, make sure to check the description in the video. I have tons of links, but there's a playlist. The playlist will take you all the way back to my very first traveler's notebook session that I did at the beginning of this year, beginning of COVID, March 2020, where I'm talking about what traveler's notebooks are and then the tons of different things that you can do with them. So there's lots of things that you'll find in the description of the video down below. As we are working on our list, I use a lot of different products. And I always encourage you, first and foremost, to shop your stash. So if you have scrapbook products, card making products, stickers, washi, whatever it is, stamps, I encourage you to pull those out and use your stash. If you need things added to your stash, or maybe you don't have a stash of things and you're just starting out, then you'll find links to a lot of the products that I use in the description of the video down below. In a lot of cases, there are products that I carry on my website. In other cases, there are links to other places that you might find them online. I always also encourage you to shop local. So if you have a local scrapbooking store, mom and pop anything, right? Whether it's a yarn store or whether it is your local diner or your local coffee shop, whatever is local, your local pet store. I always encourage you to shop local because it's really important that we support our local communities, right? If you do not have a local scrapbook store, then shop the links in the video down below. Oh gosh, what else? I think that's kind of the usual spiel that I like to talk about. As we are listing today, there is a live chat that is taking place. So I hopefully will be participating in that with you guys. But that is a great place to pipe in, say hello. I'd love to know where you're from if you are chatting. It's always fun, I think, for other people to see where you're from as well, because we usually get people from all over the world. Oh yes. So if I was going to say, if you hear me responding to things in the chat, but we're not live, so you won't hear that. Next thing, those of you that are, I can scratch that off my mental list too. Normally I say, if you're not watching live, welcome, but none of us are watching live. So Anyhow, a couple of housekeeping items before we get to listing. We have two winners to announce. The first winner is actually a pay it forward from 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, the individual, do I have her name? Let me see if I wrote it down. I don't have it in my list of things here. Anyhow, maybe Tracy? Tracy, that name just is ringing a bell. Anyhow, she had asked to pay it forward because she had won a prize a couple weeks ago. So I drew random again, and the winner from 2 weeks ago was Angelia Morton. So congratulations, Angelia. Angelia has won the April kit from Color Cast Designs from my friend Jessica. So very exciting and very thankful for Jessica for providing that prize. Last week, the prize was a reaching out product assortment. And so the reaching out collection. So the winner of that is Patricia Harvey. So congratulations, Patricia. Both Patricia and Angelia, if you happen to be watching anytime, I have replied to your comments on both videos. So you just need to send me your address and we will go from there. For this week, so I always like to do a giveaway every week just to encourage people to kind of have fun and participate. So for this week, one of our, well, actually two of our lists. One is memorable ad slogans. So let's do this. Leave a comment on the video. So not in the chat, but when the video is done, after you're done watching, leave a comment on the video itself. And just tell me one of your favorite, most memorable ad slogans. Well, I'll talk about the list in a sec. Other thing I wanted to mention, I've had many requests for an updated list of lists. So over the weekend, last weekend, I put together the updated list of lists for January through March of 2021. So I decided what I'm going to do is I will do that quarterly. So I'll do January through March, and then in April, I'll put out that comprehensive list of January through March. And then in July, I will do April through June and so forth. So I have linked to that in the description of this video as well. So now you have one comprehensive list for all of 2020, and then you have another one now for January through March of 2021. So if you're looking for those, you can find those. There is also a link in the description of the video down below to all of the listing videos that we do. So there's a playlist for those if you want to kind of go backwards and catch some of those. All right, friends, I think that is, oh, there's one more thing. Next week, so today, Saturday, the day that we're all kind of watching is Saturday, April 17th. But starting next week, so the week of April 19th, there are 3 brand new Lail by Mail project kits that are shipping. One is Getaway, and that one is a 6x8 mini book. The other one is Best Friends, and that is also a 6x8 mini book. Getaway uses the Simple Stories Safe Travels collection. It is a travel themed mini book. And then Best Friends uses the Reaching Out collection, which is the collection I used quite a bit last week. The third kit that will be shipping next week is the late spring, early summer Traveler's Notebook kit. And that one will start shipping on Wednesday, the 21st. Right now, you haven't even seen sneak peeks of that yet because I'm still waiting for product for the the June portion of the kit. It's a brand new collection from Simple Stories. So you'll see that next week, and we'll get those shipped right away and then have our class for that right before the month of May starts. Okay, friends. So I think those are all, I'm just looking at my notes. I think those are all of the housekeeping items I needed to get out of the way. Now I am going to flip the camera, and I think we'll still need our lights. It's pretty early in the day. Well, not really. It's 5:19, but it's still pretty bright. Daylight savings, right? We've got that going for us, more daylight. So we'll see if we need the lights or not. But I'm getting ready to spin the camera. So if we're at Disneyland, they always tell us arms and legs inside the right at all times. So make sure to close your eyes if you get a little bit dizzy, if you don't like the rides at Disneyland, because we're going to go for a quick spin. And I'll count us down so you're ready, all right? 1, 2, 3. All right, now, since we're not live, I don't have my screen in front of me to kind of see what things look like. So you're going to see my little hair, my little head, kind of peek under there to make sure that things are looking okay. All right, I think we're good. So I think we will bring the lights in though. Let's try that. Weather outside, oh my gosh. We've had snow all week. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, it's actually not that weird. It's not that uncommon for Utah in the spring. That's kind of what happens. So, all right, let's take another peek and see what we're looking at. There's one of my lists for today. All right, I think we're good. I need to remember when we do this that things are a little bit closer. So I need to work right about up here. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the list that we did last week. So one of our lists that I wanted to circle back to. So this one actually started 2 weeks ago. This was things I love about our neighborhood. And I had worked on the list. So I'd worked on the list. We had fun with some of the, oh gosh, these little guys. Oh, here we go. The dot stickers, which I love. They're great for bullets. So I will link these again as well because we had a lot of fun with these. And then I cut up a little bit of the hearts washi, a heart, and added it to the center of the little dots. So it was kind of fun for our bullets. And we did all of that together. And then I popped this in the pocket and there was nothing here. So I had put the title down here. There was nothing here. This little piece was here. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't sit with me. It just was not sitting with me because after the video, it just looked too plain. So what I did, I actually printed a photo of one of the things on my lists, and that is the view that we have. The view that we have is spectacular. It's one of favorite things about living where we live. And it is one of the main reasons that we built our house where we did because of the view. So I thought that might be kind of fun to add a photo there. And it actually it was exactly what that needed to fill that space. But then I also added a little tiny paper clip. And I'm going to just grab those real quick. I meant to include that last week and then forgot. So, oopsie. Those are little paper clips, mini paper clips. They come from Doodlebug, and I have linked to them in the description. Oh, that's funny. You couldn't see that. There they are. Those little tiny paper clips. So they are about, I don't know, maybe half of an inch long. But they're great for things like this. When you it's secured. My list is secured in there. It's decorative, and it's also serving a purpose. So those come in lots of different colors, and I've linked to those in the description of the video as well. And then I just added a little heart sticker there. Okay, the next list that we did after that was go-to meals. And I think that's exactly as we left it. We played a little bit with the Reaching Out collection in that one. And then the fun, oh my gosh, I can't remember what those are called. The fun, I know they're called alphabet stickers, but I don't remember. Here, let's pull them out. Those were Florence, there we go. Those were the really fun Florence alpha stickers from Bill Willard. Those are linked as well. And as I was bending over, my Sharpie's on the floor. I'm going to need that. Then we moved on to our third list, and this was a currently list. And we talked about the fact that we did this same list about 6 months prior. And so the prompts that we used, reading, watching, listening, eating, drinking, missing, and doing. It was kind of fun, I think, to document those same things every 6 months or every year, or maybe you're doing it every month or every 3 months, or what have you, just to see, how things are changing. And this is one of those time capsule lists, right? One of the time capsule lists, meaning that it's, I think, fascinating to go back 6 months, a year, maybe 10 years. Oh my gosh, 20 years. If I had done a list like this 20 years ago, how neat would that be, right? If we could go back to our lists and see how we've matured and how things have changed. Likewise, if I had a list like this that my mom did, or my grandma, or a relative, wouldn't that be so neat? Because it's just very telling. It's definitely telling a story. It's just telling a story without a photo. That then kind of dovetailed us into our third list. I guess that was our fourth list. The fourth list, we prepped a little bit last week, and then we were finishing this week. So my list was titled Today I. And what I had proposed was that you keep track of the different things that you did on a particular day this past week. And so that's what I've done. I kept track of the different things that I did today, and I kept track of the times. So I thought that would be kind of fun to list the times and then list what it was that I did. This is another time capsule list, right? If I made a list like this in college, when I was in college, it would be very different than if I made a list like this when I was a young mom, or when I was doing a lot of traveling, right? So another kind of fun time capsule list. We started using and this actually, both of these lists, I kind of bounced around the different product I was using. That was from Reaching Out collection. The washi, also from the Reaching Out collection. These little labels were from the Miss Modern die cuts. And so I've brought those back in because I had a lot of requests for those. We'll use those again, probably in a couple weeks. And then pulling in some of the Some Days collection. So Some Days, this was part of Some Days. That was part of Some Days. So Some Days collection from Pink Fresh. So after we were done last week, I added that little 21 foam sticker. And then I also added this. I thought this was perfect for the Today I list. Made it through today. And that was a die cut from the Pink Fresh Some Days collection. All right. So what I thought might be kind of fun to do, I have pulled out a weapon. And of course I'm joking, but this is a very large roller stamp. Now you guys know how much I love my roller stamps, right? I use roller stamps all the time as I'm dating my lists. And that just reminded me that I didn't find from last week. I misplaced somewhere the roller stamp I use all the time, the roller date stamp. But I'll just use another one today. But this one, so every time I use either this stamp and I haven't used this stamp a lot, but this stamp or probably more so this guy. This is a very large roller date stamp, right? This is probably, I don't know, I bet that's 9 or 10 inches. So very large. I use this on my lists a lot, and I use this a lot of times when I'm using one of our clip stamps. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to tell you guys. Guess what's coming in the next, I hope, crossing fingers, and hopefully in the next week. Andy, my friend Andy K. Art, has a new listed stamp. It is listed number 3, and it is so fun. I can't wait. Anyhow, hopefully within the next week. So this is the date stamp. Both of these, I don't carry these. These are from Studio Calico, but I will link to these in the description of the video. They are heavy. Probably definitely not something that you travel with. So this is the date one, but they also have a time one. So I thought that might be kind of fun to use the timestamp, maybe for not for everything on my list, but maybe a few things. So I think we'll play a little bit with that. Starting out, and I'm going, oh, I don't want that one. That's my Sharpie gel pen. Let's go to this one. So starting out actually, I think what I want to do is I think I'm going to just do a little line there. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on here. So just to kind of differentiate that a little bit. I also want to add a little bit more color up here. So I'm going to use that documented sticker also from Some Days. So that will go right there, documented. Okay. So starting first thing, 6:37. That is when I woke up today. So today 6:37, woke up. The next thing I think I'm going to, I'll just intersperse the really large time a couple of times throughout, but I need to kind of play with that a little bit first. So we're going to test, and I've pulled out a new notebook, just a composition notebook. I'm going to start trying to use this to do all my test stamping in, because then I'm not always looking for the test papers. Alrighty, so let's pull both of these out. Start with this one. Okay, so the second thing on my list was I got in the shower. You can tell when I had lunch because I had tomato soup. It's spilled on my list. All right, 9:45 I got in the shower. Now, that doesn't mean that I did nothing between 6:37 and 9:45, but that's just what I'm choosing to document. So getting these to roll, I tell you, they are just because they're so big. Okay. All right. Oh, heavens. They roll. You're just turning a large wheel. And you see that as it's rolling. Okay, 9:40. So I didn't set this ahead of time. Hang on, let me try to just, it's a little bit easier if I'm not holding it out in front. Okay, ouch. All right, there we go. So let's scoot these together. So I think I'd like those all together. Like that. Okay, 9:45. Now, and then I'm using a little AM. So let's get, you can kind of see there's little, what is that? Little seams right there. I'm going to try to line those up so that those little stamped things will be somewhat even. All right. Get that nice and inked up. And there we go, 9:45 a.m. So I rocked that a little bit. I don't want to rock it. Just kind of play around with that a little bit more for placement. All right, there we go, 9:45 a.m. Okie dokes. So now let's make sure I can do that right, because all the testing, we can do all the testing, can't we? And then, all right, here we go. We're going in, friends. It's going to be big. You know what I think is going to happen? I have a feeling that when I go to stamp that, unless I move really far over, this is what's going to happen. Because this isn't flat right here, right? Because there's lots of lists that I've already worked on. So I think what's going to happen is if I was trying to do this like right here, and I tried to come in really close, that would happen. See? So that, unless I'm stamping that in the middle of a page, I'm going to have a problem. So what I may do, let's try this. Let's get a piece of white cardstock and give that a stamp. And then maybe, I was trying to think if there was a label that I could use, but I don't think there is a label that is wide enough. So also what I may do, let's see if there's if there is a blank, because if I don't have let me look. Is there a blank? I don't think there's a blank. If there's a blank spot, There isn't really a blank spot. So instead of having AM, because it's going to take up a lot of the room, I have not stamped with that yet. So let's see if I can just get my ink on the 945 part as we just play, right? We're just playing. And not the other part. So let's come back in and test. And now I just got it on the other part. All right, so let's do this. Now I'm going to stamp on some white cardstock and see if I like the way it looks. And then I can just cut it out. We'll try that and see. Okay, there we go. So I didn't quite get the bottom, but I think that will work. All right, let's get the lid back on that. We're playing, right? We'll see. Maybe we decide we don't like it. All right. It's pretty big, right? So that would go right there. And I probably don't need the AM, right? So I'm going to chop off the AM and we'll just go with the 945. I think that's kind of fun. I will. Now, if I had letter stickers, number stickers, I could do the same thing, right? So if you wanted to intersperse some bigger number stickers, just so things stand out a little bit, you could do that. Okay, let's get our, where's my garbage? Get a tape runner. My heavens, come on. And we'll put that right there. Hopefully that made sense on why I had to do that. I was worried about being in too close right there. All right, 9:45. I showered. 10 o'clock. I worked on planned classes for the fall. So I planned some new classes and kits for the fall. 11:15. I started shipped orders. And then, oh my gosh, I figured it out between like 11:30, from 11:30 on, I talked to my dad 4 times. Within about a 45-minute period. He would call and then he'd forget why he was calling, and then he'd call because he remembered something, and then he would call again because there was something else. Yeah, so it was a little bit of a process, but bless his heart. Okay, next one. 1:30, I ate lunch. So I think I'll do that same thing again. I think I'm going to come back here and I will... let's see, I'm closer if I go around the clock to 1. 1, and then 3. So I have not used the timestamp much. I've used the date stamp quite a few times, as you can see. The little wheels and these little guys start to stretch out a little bit after you've used them, so they get a little bit easier to work with. Okay, so now let's do this again. Let's slide this over just so they're next to each other. There's not a lot of space between the numbers. Okay, 130. Oh, I'm having a hard time seeing because I'm going to move this back a bit. I'm working very much forward here, from what I can usually see. There we go. I hadn't quite inked that all the way. All right. So we'll come in and cut again to 130. We talked a little bit last week when I kind of introduced this list about a project that Allie Edwards does every year called A Day in the Life or A Week in the Life. I think she usually does A Week in the Life. But this is kind of a day in the life, right? That same concept where we are just documenting a day in our lives. Okay, 130. All right, so 130. 130, I ate lunch. And there's nothing special about those particular times that I picked. I'm just kind of trying to break things up a little bit. Okay, next up, 2 o'clock. I was proofing instructions for my getaway kit. And then 3 o'clock, I prepped for listing session. So what we're doing now. And then at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, I filmed our listing session. So here's the deal. Friends, it is 5:42. So my day is still happening. So I am not done yet with the day. So I can't be done yet with my list. I will finish the day and then I will continue and finish my list for next week. So I think I'll keep doing kind of the same thing that I've been doing. I'll probably put another larger date or time right there. And then I'll list whatever that was and then list different things. And then I will list, probably the last one will be when I went to bed. Since I started with when I woke up, I will end with when I went to bed. But I do know that I want to add just a little bit more washi down here because we have the perfect washi. I have the perfect washi for that. And this is the, oh gosh, what is it? I can't remember what it's called. I've linked to it in the description below. I have a number of different washi that are days of the week. But this set has obviously Sunday through Saturday. And then it has a couple of other rolls that go with it. So this is my happy place. I think this one goes with it. New adventures, and oh, this one's perfect, right? The other one is my to-do list. So there are actually two different sets. One is the weekly, and then there's another one that's monthly where you have a different wool washi for the different days of the month. So I've linked to those in the description of the video, but I thought it might be fun to use Thursday somewhere here. So let's just see. And then I'll need to put, I'll need to also date it probably with a little date stamp. So what if, all right, there's Thursday. What if we did a little label down here maybe? So these are the labels from someday. Some days. Hold on. I keep wanting to sing Over the Rainbow. Some days, like somewhere. Labels from some day. Some days. Golly, Lale. Okay, so I think that, what if we did this one? Maybe. Like that. That could go there. Then there's also, what did I just say? Oh, today is a good day. That's also kind of a fun one. That could go there. But then it's let's pull this one off and just see. So if we did today is a good day, and then if we just did maybe, I know we're totally covering up the rainbow. Maybe we'll just do that. Tear it right there. And then it'll also go off the edge. So today is a good day, Thursday, and then I will also, oh, that is a sticker. I don't know if you can see that. It's stuck. Oh, don't want that. I would like to use this guy, I can't remember what that's called, the everything tool or something like that. All right, so let's put this guy back on my sticker sheet. All right, I need to add the date, but I think what I will do, I'll use one of my date stamps, but I think I will wait. That's the date stamp I'll use because it's pretty tiny. Actually, maybe it will fit right in there. I think it will. Let's do that. So this would be, today is Thursday, the day that I'm doing this, and that is the 15th. Oh, it's tax day in the US, friends. Favorite day of the year. Not, right? But I think I'll put that just right there. Okay. Oh, let's test it first. Always good to test, right? Make sure we're okay. Yep, April 15th, 2021. Yep, that's today. double, triple check in my head. All right, we'll just pop that little guy right there. There we go. All right, so I'll finish that up, and then I will share the rest of this next week on how I finish it off. Okay, let's pull this down just a little bit. It was a little bit too high for me. Better start with this edge. So in the chat, like I said, I'm hoping that I will be able to join you guys for the chat. Interested. I hope you're talking about your day. Hope you're talking about the day that you documented and what you were documenting. If not, well, let's talk about it. Talk about your day. Talk about the different things that you did. I know some of you will say, oh my gosh, my days are so boring. I do the exact same thing every day. Well, then document it, right? Then document it, because that's still part of all of this, right? Our time capsule, or our kind of listing what's going on in our lives. So if the same thing happens every day, then for sure document, because that is your routine, right? All right, so there we go. Our next two lists are a little bit related. And the topics for the list came from someone in the Facebook group. So if you are not part of the Lail by Mail Facebook group, I would encourage you to join us over there. Lots of people sharing their lists, just some really good conversations and lots of fun. So I've linked to that in the description of the video as well. All you need, it's a private group, so all you need to do is go and ask to be a member, and then I will approve you. So the list, and it was a lively conversation, lots of people sharing examples, but someone said, wouldn't it be fun to do a list of things, sayings that kids these days would have no clue what they were or where they came from? And I thought, oh gosh, that's so fun. And then I thought, so how can I kind of put a little bit of structure around that list? And as I was sitting down and writing the things that were coming to mind, I ended up having some things that were from television commercials and others that were from TV shows or movies. So I decided I will be documenting it in two different lists. So our first list for today is the Today I. Our second and third lists are kind of along those lines. So the first one I will be doing is memorable ad slogans. So these may be coming from TV. They could be coming from print. I guess they could be coming from online. But, when lots of us were younger, they didn't have online. So I will be calling this memorable ad slogans for the list here. And then for the list here, iconic TV and movie lines, or TV or movie lines. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to word that yet. So right off the bat, you can see what I need to do. And this is just happens when we stamp. Sometimes it depends on the stamp that we're using and how much area the stamp is covering. Also depends on the ink that we use. And I've talked quite a bit in the past about the difference between dye-based inks and pigment inks. There is a great article that I've linked to in the description of the video down below that you'll find on scrapbook.com, where they talk about different kinds of inks and their properties and when you might use one versus the other. For me, this is just pure preference. This is just Lael as a crafter. This is my opinion. I really like to use dye-based ink when I'm stamping with something small. So when I stamped with the 945, I also use that. You'll notice when I stamped with the date, because both of those stamps are pretty fine. They're pretty thin. And I end up getting, I think, a crisper stamp sometimes when I am stamping with a stamp that is thin. When it comes to stamping with something that is a little bit thicker, has a little bit more meat to it. So the Today I. Same thing for, I think, the favorite games. I think I probably used that as well. Let's see what else. The Good and the Bad. Same thing. That was that same stamp that I used for the Today I. In all of those cases, I used pigment ink. So pigment ink, I like to call juicy ink. There is definite difference in feel when you, if I were to press into this pad, which I won't because it would make a mess, it has a lot of give to it. Pigment ink is generally has more coverage, but it also takes a little bit longer to dry. So those are, in my opinion, the differences in the two inks. Now, I'm not an expert, so if you want to really know more about that, then at least start with that article on scrapbook.com that I've linked to in the description of the video. There's also a really great article that I've linked to as well that goes over the differences between your, between your distressed inks, which is the ink is a dye-based ink, so kind of along this side. And then there are the oxide inks. And these are just different names for the Tim Holtz Ranger inks, but the oxides are pigment inks, so a little bit juicier, whereas the distress inks are more of the pigment ink. Dye-based ink, sorry. Distressed ink, dye-based, oxide, pigment. There's tons of people out there that have all kinds of information about it. That's just kind of my perception of those inks and how I personally like to use them and when I like to use them. Okay, so as I was saying, when you use sometimes, let's switch those again. When you use sometimes the pigment ink, you will see this happen. You'll see a little bit of shadowing or ghosting. In this case, there's quite a bit, right? And there's really nothing that you can do about that. But you can't prevent that from happening when you're using a pigment ink. unless your paper is quite a bit thicker. Now, the inserts I use are the Carpe Diem inserts, and the paper is actually very thick, but I need to be like using some super heavyweight, maybe like watercolor paper or something that was super heavy to not have that happen. But that is a perfect excuse to then bring in some of our pattern papers, right? So some of our pattern papers, and I just move right in and put a pattern paper right over the top. And then I start making my list. At least that's the base for my list as opposed to the page. So you can see I've done that actually quite a few times. So sometimes I will do that out of necessity. So let's see, I needed to do that. Actually, I didn't. I was going to say I needed to do that for this list, but that one I had stamped on a piece of white cardstock. So that was not a necessity there. Anyhow, sometimes it's out of necessity. Like in this case, it's going to be out of necessity. But in other cases, I just like to start with a piece of pattern paper. Because these two lists are going to be side by side and they kind of have something to do with each other, right? They kind of run along the same lines. I have pulled out the Color Study collection from my friend Vicki Booten. I am going to use this for this list, and I'll actually probably bring this into a couple of my lists over the next couple of weeks, just because it is such a fun, oh my gosh, it is, well, it's Vicki. If you said, hey, describe Vicki's personality, Lael, I would show you Color Study and say, there you go, that's her personality. So it's almost like she's here with us. Well, sometimes she is, but almost like she's here with us right now with me. Okay, so as I pick the papers that I want to go on each side, I want to make sure that they coordinate, right? They don't necessarily have to match, but I want them to coordinate. Just like I did here when I had a list side by side that they had something to do together. This was my good habits list and my bad habits list. So the base papers coordinate, right? So I want to do the same thing for this list. So let's see. I have pulled out some papers that I thought might be fun. But oh my gosh, you guys, this collection, what did I do with the paper pad? I pulled a bunch of the sheets out. Oh, it's right here. So this collection is so fun. It just makes me happy because it's so bright and cheery. Everything with Vicki's 6x8 pads, always double-sided. So in this guy, you have 24 sheets, but there are double-sided. So you end up with, I think, 24 patterns because the patterns repeat. So you have 2 sheets each of 12 different designs, but double-sided. So you actually get 24 different designs, if that makes sense. So I was like, oh my gosh, how do I choose to use the A or the B side? So in this case, it's nice to have 2 of each because I can take advantage of the A side and the B side. Now, I'm going to end up covering up a bit of the paper, right? I'm going to have to cut part of it off, part of the design off, and then cover part of it for my list. So as I am looking at these papers, I need to kind of consider that. This one I loved. You know why I loved this one? Because you know I love yellow, and then I love that grid pattern. But I think that may be, I don't know, that may be a little bit plain. We'll see. But this one just spoke to me. But I might lose. I don't know. Maybe I'll be okay. This one could be a fun on this side. But it's kind of plain, right? It's a little bit plain. There you go. I could do the 2 together, but I wouldn't do that because there's so many great patterns. Why would I do that? The stripe is really fun. So I would say if I don't do this one, I'll probably do the stripe. This one I think is fun too. So maybe we'll start with both of those. Oh, golly. I don't know, you guys, right? So good. Everything is so good. All right. This is what I'm going to do. Let's, it will be these 3. Well, it will either be, my gosh, Lael, get your words out. It'll be either of these and this one, I think. But now what I need to do is I need to cut up some of my white cardstock because I need to see what that is going to look like when I cover up the pattern, because I'm going to have to cover up some of the pattern. So I won't quite finalize my decision until I get my white cardstock cut. So the white cardstock that I use, I just purchased from Amazon, and I've linked to it in the description of the video. I don't know, it's maybe like $10 for 250 sheets. And you might think, oh my gosh, oh, hold on, I had to get my trimmer across the room. You might think, oh my gosh, well, I've never used 250 sheets. Oh, yes, you would. Trust me. I buy those usually a couple at a time. And you'll notice they're 8.5 by 11. The reason I use 8.5 by 11 cardstock as opposed to 12 by 12, especially if you were a scrapbooker or card maker, paper crafter. Normally, you just see 12 by 12, but I like to use 8.5 by 11 because the inserts that I use are called standard wide. So with the standard wide inserts, they are 5 inches wide by 8.25 tall. So if you think, 5 inches wide, well, on an 8.5 by 11, I can get, actually, yeah. Let me stop for a second. 8.25 inches tall. 8.25 inches tall, I'm on an 8.5 by 11. So to get it to 8.25, all I need to do is cut off a quarter, right? Very little waste there. Now for my width, 5 inches. So I can get easily 2 5-inch pieces out of that 8.5 by 11. Again, very little waste. So I could use the rest of this to do more of my stamping numbers if I wanted. I could use that to test something, or else I could just put it in the garbage. So a lot of times what I will do is I will pre-cut a lot of these types of bases. Now, usually I will cut them more from here, but I'll at least start with that because that's the size of my inserts, the standard wide, 5 by 8.25. So if for some reason I just wanted a white base for my list that didn't have lines on it, then that is what I would use for the base of my list. But I'm going to use pattern paper for the base of my list, right? So I know we're going to need to cut these down even a little bit more. So these will be, they are 6 by 8 because they're from a 6 by 8 pad. And I mentioned my inserts are 8.25. So I don't need to cut the height at all. The height is perfect. But the width I need to cut. So I am going to start out with, I'm probably going to go, I think, let's start out at 4 3/4 because that would give me an even border all the way around, which I think that'll be great. All right, that's just so good. Now, when I do my list on there, I'll still end up with a lot of that good pattern around. So that could work. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And I'm not worried about that because I always use my 6 by 8s in my traveler's notebook. So I'm not worried about cutting that down because I know I will use it. Also to 4 3/4. Ooh, I don't know. Super fun. Oh, I don't know. I like it. Okay, next up, this guy. Now, the only thing that could possibly be an issue with this guy is that I may lose a lot of, you may not even be able to see those cute little hearts by the time that I add my, white base over the top, right? So if those were like that, that would be like that before I trim it. And that would be like that. So lots going on here, not very much going on here. But that's okay because I don't think I want to do something like this. I think this would introduce maybe just way too much, right? Next to each other. But a lot of times we just need to play, right? We need to just get our things out and play to see what we would like. And I think this one, we're going to lose some of that. Well, let's just cut it and see what we'll lose. So we want that to be 4 3/4, like that. So let's see. This would be like this. Well, now it might need to move up. That would be like that. And this would be like this. But it's kind of hard to tell. But you know what? I think we're going to lose Okay, let's just do this. This is 4 3/4. Let's start out with 4 1/4 and see what that would look like. So I took a 1/2 inch off of there. I will then take a 1/2 inch off of here as well. So they are even all the way around. All right, so that is what that one will look like. And you know what? I don't want to do that because look at, we just, I mean, this is kind of fun, but up here, it's just really plain and boring. So unless I put something else up there, I don't know that I want to do that. But I will use that sometime for something else in my traveler's notebook. So now we can test this out. There's that, but I think I want to make this a little bit thinner and a little bit shorter. So 4 1/4, I've gone down 3/4. That was my issue there. This one needed to go down 3/4. So that was 8.25. Now it is even all the way around. But I feel like we might just need a little bit more. So I'm going to take 1/4 inch again off of the top and one of the sides. And that way, so that is now at 4 7 1/4. All right, see what a difference. I see so much more of that pattern now. So that's what I'm going to do. 4 by 7 1/4. Right, that's what I said. 4 by 7 1/4. Okay. 4 by 7 1/4. Weird, that looks so, seems so different. So if that went there, and this went there. I don't know. I mean, you can see a few hearts. Let's see what happens if we turn it upside down. Do we see any more hearts? No, now they all look upside down. All right, so that may work. Here's the thing I'm thinking though. There's some really great die cuts in here, like some really great ones. So if I pulled in, look at that. That would be so fun, wouldn't it? If I pulled something like that in, it is giant, but it is really fun. Then it might be just a good contrast. And it works because we have the pink and the orange and the pink and the orange. So let's try that. Then I also pulled out these little guys. So cute, right? If this little guy was down here kind of in the corner like that for my list. Now, I realize these things I'm pulling have absolutely nothing to do with ad slogans or TV commercials or anything. And that's okay. They don't have to, right? Because I'm just having fun and using products that inspire me. Okay, so let's go with that. I need my corner rounder, which I forgot to grab. It was close. I am going to round the outside corners on both of those pieces. And I usually do that because my insert pages are rounded. I'll do the same thing over here. Now, I am going to work on these lists outside of the book. And that's another advantage of adding, base layers like this. I'm going to work on both of these lists outside of the book just because I know I want to do a little bit of stamping. And there's a lot of stuff that's been happening under here, right? I have a clip right there. I have some puffy stickers. I have stickers. So it's starting to get a little textured under here. And if I try to do my stamping when my page is in the book, then I may have some issues getting a good impression. We want to make a good impression, right? In more ways than one. All right, so I'm going to work on my lists here like this. And then when they're done, I will adhere them to my insert. All righty, get my tape gun out. So all of the tools that you see me use, like the tape gun, my Sharpie, the trimmer, I don't sell the trimmer, but I've got it linked. Basically everything I use, the tweezers I use, the fussy cutting scissors, everything, you'll find links in the description of the video down below. Because I always get a ton of questions about those. And everything I link they're things that I use and personally, well, recommend because I use them. Okay, so there we go. This, I just love that. That is so awesome. Now, those of you that are scrapbookers, one of the things that Vicki does really, really well in her collections, there's always some really big pieces in the die cuts, which if you're working on a 12 by 12 canvas, it's important to have big pieces, right? Because you're working on a 12 by 12 canvas. You need some bigger pieces. So I love that she does that. But what's fun, we're not working on a 12 by 12 canvas, but it's still fun to kind of have a bigger piece because it just makes things really pop. So this little guy, I'm going to put right here, and it's actually, I'm going to have it bleed off the page. So I will adhere it, and then I will cut off the excess. We use my tape runner. A lot of times with die cuts, I like to use a glue pen, but this die cut has a lot of surface area to it, so it's pretty easy for me to get in there with my tape gun. But then some of the smaller parts, like the little stem down here, I will use my glue pen. And I am not worried about what part is going to hang off yet and if I got adhesive on it or not, because I'll just cut it off. All right, there we go. Oh, so that is a little bit, well, I've got some adhesive on the back of there. I just won't press on my tabletop. All right, so now I can go in either with my scissors or with my trimmer. If I was not filming right now, I would probably just use my trimmer. I just grab it, but it's a little bit bigger, cumbersome to bring in. So we'll just cut it off. And if I had my bigger scissors out, I just do that in one big cut, right? All right, and then that little piece down there. So it's bleed. It's got to bleed, right? It's got to bleed off the page, which I love to do. I think it just, well, I just love the look. So I like to bleed things like that a lot. All right, so now we need to do our outlining. So curious, guys, are you listing with me? Are you working on these lists? Remember the giveaway. So the giveaway, I will have you leave a comment, not in the chat, but in the comments on the video after the video is over. Well, actually, since it's recorded, you could go do it at any time. For this week's giveaway, and this week's giveaway, oh, I don't know if I said what the prize was. This week's giveaway is a selection, an assortment of Vicki Boutin Color Study products. So they are all, I have them all back in stock again. They have gone in and out of stock very, very quickly. So I have them all back in stock again, at least the time that at the time I'm recording the video. So I've included links in the description of the video down below. I've included links to the Vicki's Color Study collection in the video. You know what I mean, in the description. I won't do both of them. Yeah, no. I wasn't going to do both of them. I was just trying to see if I wanted one over here. Now, if this yellow guy was facing the other direction, like he was facing here, I might put him right there because I really want to use the yellow and bring in a little bit more color, but he is not. So we talked about this a couple times before. I would not put him here because he is, to me, he's looking the wrong direction. He should be looking, this guy should be looking this way if he's here. But if he's over here, he should be looking this way. That's just my preference. So his little feet, I don't really love his little feet. I know he's a bird, but I guess he's a he. All right, we're gonna hold off on him for a second because I think I may do a little bit of washi along the bottom here. So let's hold off for a second. All right, for our first list on this side, memorable ad slogans. So I think I'm going to use these Heidi swap stamps. These are from the Carefree collection, right? These are from her Carefree collection. I thought they might be kind of fun to use. So slogan would fit. And then I would just write the other letters. So let's see. Let's just see what that looks like. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Because that's going to be, if I was doing a one-page list, I would probably use that there, but I think that's going to be really blocky right next to each other. So not going to use those. I am going to use some alpha stickers. So I had pulled these out. Okay. I had pulled the teal out before I knew what I was going to do, kind of what papers I was going to use. I had also pulled out the coral, and neither of those really, I think, are working there. The coral could maybe work over here, but right now I'm going to look for something that will go right there. So let's see. These are the font that I have right here. That's the Sunshine font from Doodlebug. Don't mind me, just as I go through my stack of, Yeah, nope, that's the mint. That's not it. Oh, look at that. I mean, that's pretty bright. That's bubblegum, but that could potentially work. Oh, then there's Sunshine. That's probably what's going to be over here. You know how much I love the yellow, so Sunshine will probably go there. There's a red, but the red will be, yeah, there's too much red. So I know there's more colors of those. One of these days I will organize these so they're all the fonts are in the same, or together. So yeah, that's not the right one either. Yellow's the winner so far. Now, tangerine. Tangerine might be better than tangerine's better than coral. Okay. Sorry, coral, you're out of there. Purple lovers, there's lilac. But purple is not my favorite. Although it would be fun there, but I think I'll stick with the yellow and the bumblebee and the tangerine. All of those, yeah, I'll stick with yellow. All of those you'll find those linked in the description of the video on my website. That could be fun. I love yellow, but now I'm worried a little bit about all the yellow on this side. So yellow title and then yellow with that. So I think that I don't know, this one, too bright. All right, let's go with the pink and the tangerine. The cupcake and tangerine is what I'm going with. So if you are using Color Study and you are using the same papers that I am, that's what I'm using. But even if you're not doing the list along with me, but you're looking for stickers, alphabet stickers that coordinate with Color Study. Now we've just gone through a bunch of them. So I may totally be changing my mind, friends. And you know what? That's what we do. We play, right? We play and try different things. So what I thought, I loved these, and these come from, there's actually two different sets of of die cuts in Vicky's Color Study collection. One is icons, and the other one is, I think, journaling and titles. So everything that I'm using so far is from the icons side. And I saw those 3 little paint tubes, and oh my gosh, I thought they were so fun. I was really hoping there would be like 5 or 6 in different colors, because if there were, these would be, not for this list, but I would make my list on these and just write whatever, I was doing on there. But that won't work because there's only 3. But what I could do this. And then those would be, I'd write whatever my list topic is right there. So I kind of like that, but the thing I don't like is I don't want it to be matchy-matchy like that. So Yeah, no, don't like that there at all. So if that went there, then I would use the different title over here, which I think that's what I'm going to do. I will write my prompt, my list topic right here in this little guide. So the list topic for this side is memorable ad slogans. And I'm just going to write that right in here. Memorable ad slogans. Okay, that'll go right there. That's kind of fun, huh? I mean, lots of times we're looking for different things, different ways to design our titles. And that is a totally different way, right? Using a die cut like that and writing our title, our list title, our list topic in the die cut. Hang on. I need a little eraser. Trying to see if I have an, oh yeah, here it is. Oh, it'll be fine. I just got a little bit of dirt on there. But by the time I get everything written on there, you'll never even notice it. Okay, put that back. Memorable ad slogans. So over here, this list title, I'm kind of right now working on both at the same time. Iconic TV and movie lines. So instead of using the letter stickers for all of those things, I think I will do maybe TV and movie and then write the rest of it above and below. So let's try that. When working with alpha stickers, I always pull out my little 6-inch ruler. These I have on my website. Those are probably that little ruler. 3 things. Basically, the ruler, the fussy cutting scissors, and the tweezers. Those are probably the most frequently purchased things on my website, just over and over and over, because I think they're tools that we can use all the time. TV and movie. So let's see. Now, we have to see if this will fit. And the reason I bring in the ruler is that it really helps me to line all of my stickers up straight. But then also, it helps me to figure out where to center them. So figure out where to center my title, left to right. So TV, there's a little ampersand. This font I'm using is called Sunshine. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. It's so cute. It's just cute and whimsical, and I think it'll go really well with this list. TV and movie also has tons of letters. So lots of M's and N's and S's and T's, and so TV and movie. And I'm just using that little line right here to line all of the letters up. It's steel, so they stick, but then they come off really easily. And I'll show you how I do that. TV and movie. This week while I'm doing this, you guys, somebody absolutely blew me away, and I have not responded to her yet. Seriously, she blew me away. Someone purchased, I think, 5 of my kits this week. 3 of one and 2 of another. And one she was keeping for herself. And I think 3 or 4, I can't remember, she purchased for me to give away. So she purchased and then basically donated them back for giveaways. And oh my gosh, it honestly, I was so taken aback. It's just so, it's so neat that she's supporting me, but then also supporting our community here, right? So I haven't quite figured out how to give those away, but really excited about that. It was just such a neat thing. There's, you guys, I mean, everyone, our little community that we've built here over the last year is just pretty special. Okay, so what I'm doing, I can move my ruler around to see, is that centered? Is that centered? Do I want it down here? Do I want it here? Uh-oh. yeah, you need to try to not do what I just did, because you can see I don't put them, you know, all the way on the ruler. So especially these guys, because these are cardstock stickers and they're thin. They'll lift pretty easily, which is what we want to do. We want them to lift when we go to sit them down. So I don't want that down here, because then it's too, we're ending up with like this weird kind of kitty corner thing, or you may say catty corner. So TV and movie, I'll put that right there, but I can kind of move that around until I say, oh yeah, that looks pretty centered. That looks pretty centered right there. I know I need to write above it. So this is iconic TV and movie lines. So probably what I will do, I'm going to move this all the way up here, even though I already have TV and movie in my title. I'm going to write that again below, because I think it'll be weird if I just write iconic and then lines, right? See how I just lifted like that? I just lifted up and then the stickers are right down there, exactly where I want them to be. So, iconic, TV, and movie lines. And here I need to do one of my little lines like that, just to separate. And I won't worry about that over here. Okay, so next up, the bullets. So I need a little, some kind of bullet, right? And that's what I call them, little bullets for each of the items on my list. So what I mean by bullet, those were little bullets. That's a little stamp. These were kind of bullets, right? Those labels were bullets. Sometimes I just use a black pen and write little dots. The bullets that we made back here on this list using these bullets, or these little dot circles, which are perfect for bullets. Those come in 3 different color families. But anyhow, different bullets. So someone again, earlier this week in the Facebook group said, hey, Lael, you're always, I'll put that in later. You're always looking for different bullet options. Well, how about this one? Well, she screenshotted one of my setups. You know how I always have a photo, kind of a flat lay. That's what they're called, a flat lay of some of the products I'll be working on for our list. And she said, what about the stamp? These stamps in this picture. Okay, now where are they? Oh, here they are. And I looked at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is such a good idea. So this stamp set, and I've linked to this one in the description in the video below, but she said, what about these? What about using those as your bullets, right? They're like little speech bubbles. That one has a heart in the center, and that one has an exclamation point in the center. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is brilliant. So that is what I'm going to do. I will use those as my bullets. I will probably use, I don't know, one set, like the hearts on one side, and then the exclamation point on the other. Getting out my little Fiskars stamp block set. These are back in stock. So these come in and out of stock all the time, but they are back in stock now. I think I talked about this last week. There is a new section on my website called Back in Stock. And I decided to add that because as Color Study was coming in and out, as Reaching Out was coming in and out, as Garden Party was coming in and out, and then some of the basics like that, I decided to add that new section. So you can always go to Back in Stock to see what is back in stock. But you can also always, if a product is out of stock on my website, you can click on the little button that says email me when available, and then it will automatically email you when that product is back in stock. Just depends on if you want to go look for something or you want to just have it tell you when it's back. I know how I am. I don't want to remember. So I just want you to email me. Back in stock? Great. Send me an email. All right. Put that little guy right there. Everybody remember. Oh, you can't see it. Everybody remember, this is where I'm putting it. So, well, guess what? It won't matter. When we're live, it matters because when we do this live, then you guys can help me because in 5 minutes, I'll be like, what did I do with that? Yeah, I forget we're not live. Okay, live, but you know what? This is the next best thing, right? Because our alternative is to not do it, which that would be sad. All right, what did I do with the notebook that I am using now for all my test stamping? Because remember when I said, oh, I'm going to start using this notebook because then I'll always have it. And then I'm not looking for the paper. Oh, here it is. And then I'm not looking for the papers. Okay, so I always like to test for a couple reasons. Number one, when it's a brand new stamp that I haven't used before, I want to prime it. And for me, the easiest way of priming the stamp is by stamping with it. Just getting some ink on there and stamping with it. These blocks, this block set, I love because there's 4 stamps. Oh, that's so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay, perfect. Sorry, there's 4 blocks in the set. Oh, hi,
hello,
honey.
Ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
Nick was out of town, so.
You're going on 4 hours?
Shut up. I'm not going on 4 hours. I'm going on, let's see, let me look under. 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 30 seconds so far.
You started a lot later than I thought.
I know I did. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I did. That's funny. Okay. So, yes, I love that. It's such a good idea. Okay. Not my idea, but someone in the Facebook group. Okay. So now let's go to my list. We can get these out of the way. There's lots of things now in our way. If we clean up as we go, or at least put things away kind of as we go, there's less clutter, right? All right, so I have, oh my gosh, you guys, a lot. And I think I have far more that are going to fit. So I'll have to pare them down, but that's okay. Sometimes when you are looking for topics for your list, it's just easier to brainstorm, right? Brainstorm. So cute. Just brainstorm. And then you can narrow it down. Then you can pare it down. Okay. Now, what just happened there, I didn't quite get an even impression. That's okay, because I'll just grab my little Sharpie and fill that in. It's a little bit transparent there, so I just grab my Sharpie, fill that in. I could use, obviously, any color of stamping ink, but I want to use black because there's a lot of color going on here, right? There's a lot of color going on between these 2 lists. Okay, so the first one, of course, right? Where's the beef? Where's the beef? Where's the beef? And that was Wendy's, right? That was a Wendy's commercial years ago. Very iconic. But I thought, like I said, the person that suggested this in the Facebook group as a great list topic had said, these are things, slogans or sayings that the younger generation probably would have even no clue what they were. Where's the beef, right? Although kind of like fluorescent clothing and bell bottoms, these kind of things tend to have a way of coming back into style, right? So I don't know. I'll have to ask my kids if they know what Where's the Beef is. Okay, I'm just looking at my list. The next one. I love this one. Calgon, take me away. Right? Remember that? And I'm not going to write Calgon next to it because, hello, Calgon. Calgon, take me away. I think that was in the 70s. And that commercial where the woman had like the crazy day and the Calgon bath salts, or I don't know, whatever they are. She hopped in the bathtub and Calgon, take me away, and everything just, erases. So yes, Calgon, take me away. Do you ever feel like that? All the time, right? Gosh, if only a bath would help. Well, that doesn't help me, but maybe it helps you. All right, I think I can probably just keep doing this while I have the stamp out and while I have the ink out. So I'm just going to do these. And I'm not measuring. I'm just, kind of using, well, actually, because that little point is on all of the stamped images, right? Makes it easy to see. So fun. This is, I guess, a great example of looking at your product, looking at it again, because I never would have thought to use these as bullets. And I am so glad. I don't know, you guys, the bird may not make it because the bird's going to take up, I'm going to lose. Sorry, bird, you're out, but I have another idea. You're out, bird, because I will lose things from my list. I'm going to keep going. Oh, didn't quite get a good impression. I don't know if you guys can see that. So let me try to fix this. My Sharpie comes to the rescue, right? I was trying to go a little bit too fast. See, you never know. All right, so let's stop there and let's go back to writing my list. So I got Where's the Beef? And I did Gunn, Take Me Away. This one, right? Don't leave home without it. And that was American Express. So I'm just going to write Amex there. That one, don't leave home without it. That just, I don't know, that was one that I thought about. There were a lot that I thought about that aren't going to make it on my list. One was Ancient Chinese Secret. And I don't remember, I may add it, we'll see. I don't even remember what the commercial is for, which in a lot of cases, that's the problem with memorable ad slogans. Sometimes you remember the slogan, but you don't remember the product. And if you're in advertising, that's not necessarily what you're going for, right? You want people to remember the slogan and associate it with your product and then go buy it. All right, don't leave home without it. Let's see. This one. And I'm sure they don't say this anymore. Remember, reach out and touch someone. Reach, oops, darn it. My brain was thinking further ahead than I was. So I just get my little white gel pen there. Fix that. Reach out and touch someone. Remember who that was? AT&T. That slogan, that's interesting. That may be a slogan that in today's world, if that was a brand new ad slogan, that might end up on the cutting room floor, so to speak, right? Just reach out and touch someone. That may not be necessarily appropriate. So interesting. This one, love this one. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Right? Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nut. Mounds don't because. Yep, Almond Joy. Now, I'm kind of running out of room, but that's okay. Almond Joy, the candy bar. Almond Joy. Oh, this one. This one, like such a brilliant ad campaign, except there's a problem. So, memorable ad slogans. Can you hear me now? Which I think, is that Verizon or T-Mobile? I don't remember. I'm going to say it's Verizon, but I don't remember. Now, great ad campaign, right? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Because all the time on our cell phones, you know, you're like, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And you're walking around the block or walking in a different room of your house. Great campaign, except when the spokesperson for your campaign leaves for whatever reason. Maybe you decided not to renew his contract, or maybe he decided to leave, and then goes and starts doing commercials for a competitor. And that's what happened with that guy. Can you hear me now guy now works for Sprint. And the commercials that he does for them, there's some kind of little dig in there to Verizon or T-Mobile or whatever it was. Can you hear me now, right? Let's see what else. Here's another one, good to the last drop. Remember what that one was? Good to the last drop. It was Maxwell House Coffee. Okay, Ancient Chinese Secret is going to make it on my list. So what's funny though, I don't remember what product that was. I just remember Ancient Chinese Secret. And that was at a dry cleaner, but I don't remember the product. So I need to go back and look for the product. Oh, this one is awesome, right? Pardon me. Do you have any Grey Poupon? This is going to have to go over there. Do you have any Grey Poupon? Oh, I just thought that was so funny when I was a kid. Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? And the fancy, whatever the car was, would roll up. Yeah. Okay, pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? And of course, when you say that, you have to have the right tone. Okay, I think the last one. He won't eat it. He hates everything. You know what that is? Hey, Mikey, he likes it. He won't eat it. He hates everything. You remember the product? Life cereal. Life, right? Life cereal? I think it's called Life. But now I'm confused between Life cereal and the game Life. But I think it's Life cereal. Okay, so these lists are independent from each other, but they coordinate. So I'm going to add some washi, I think, to this one. But I will not... I don't think I will carry it over to this list. I may have washi on this list. I may not. So this is the Color Study washi. And let's open it up. I can't believe I haven't opened this yet. Or actually, maybe I have. If I have, I've already opened another. Because I thought I used it last time I used... I first used this collection. I don't know. A month ago, maybe. So let's see. That one. I always like a good black washi just because it's nice. Look at this. Okay, let's go here. This is interesting. This isn't a case where unless you saw it rolled out, you wouldn't notice it. Sorry, I totally sidetracked. Squirrel. That reminds me. Scatter. Squirrel. But this washi, okay, look how cool. I've never realized this before. Look at this. Look how fun. See those little circles? Do you know what they say? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Isn't that awesome? That's really cool. I won't use that on this list because it won't really make sense, although it'd definitely be decorative. And maybe that's just what it is. Maybe it's just decorative instead of, well, if I was going to use a washi, that would be the one to use over there, wouldn't it? Maybe we'll use that one there because it's the hearts, like the hearts. Okay, so let us see. If I do, no, I don't think, well, no, okay. So I'm just looking at some that I have off to the side. I was thinking that the gold dots would work, but then no, because then that's circle and dot, and I don't want to do those together. This could work. No, that's too much black. Maybe what we'll do is, what if we do this? Why didn't we use this navy? Or navy, it's more like a royal blue, really pretty royal blue, and it's like a tone-on-tone stripe. So let's try that maybe. Oh yeah, that's nice. Isn't that beautiful with that? Such a pretty color blue. Alrighty. That will go there. And then I was thinking this black might be nice with it, but let's look. This is also from the Color Study washi. And it says daily observation currently. That could be kind of fun. Like that. All right, so I think it needs a little something else. So let's look at, there are two different types of stickers that are part of the Color Study collection. these 6x12s. Those are in. And I'm back. Terry Leto, if you are watching, guess what I forgot to do? When I flipped the camera, I forgot to plug my phone in. So the video just stopped because my phone was not plugged in. So we should be good now because I am plugged in. I'm just going to check underneath to make sure we are still filming. And I think we're good. All right, so 2 different stickers. It's the 6x12. And then also, this is part of the sticker book. So I'm obviously looking for something smaller, right? Both of these would have smaller stickers. These ink splatters are kind of fun. Those ink splatters could be a lot of fun. Let's see if there's a spot for an ink splatter. Maybe right there. Okay, that'll work. And then let's see if we have something else. Something else. I was going to say, I feel like we need something down here, but then putting that there now kind of, I wouldn't put something else down there because it would be weird. I think it would look just off balance. So maybe if we try to find another thing that could go down there, like maybe this butterfly could go there with a little ink spot right there. Yeah, that'll work. All right. So now let's move on to this list. So this is memorable ad slogans. And actually, I think what I want to do, I am going to write over this title that I already wrote, just so that title stands out a little bit more, right? It's a little bit darker now and a little bit bolder. See the difference between memorable and ad slogans? So let's go in and do that. Same thing. It's funny when I'm trying to talk, well, I'm always trying to talk and work at the same time, and I have to think because I need to make sure that I do this right and not, I don't know. Anyhow, I pause a lot between my words, and it reminds me of Bob Ross. There we go, memorable ad slogans. Now you can totally see that better. I like that. All right, memorable ad slogans. TV and movie, iconic TV and movie lines. And our little bird, we'll use the bird for something else another time because it's so cute. Okay, so we just used that one. And I think, I don't know if I want to use the heart over there. I don't think I want to use the heart. And this is why. Because I was going to say, what did I do with it? It's right here. It's too similar, right? So it is too similar. And I'll show you what I mean. And we'll just kind of fake it. Fake what it would look like using one of these little pieces of paper that I had left over. Let me come back in here, and I'll need to clean that later, but at least that will get it clean a little bit. And put it back on the sheet, or else later I will be looking for that everywhere. I love a stamp set like this that it's just a good all around, so many great things. Favorite moment, quote of the day. That quote of the day would be fun if we had more room on one of these lists. But anyhow, okay. So what I mean by not wanting to use this one, let's get it far away from there. Oh, I've got to test it for, well, I guess we don't need to test it first because this is just pretend. I'm not doing a very good job. There we go. Okay, that's enough to show what I mean. So these two lists are side by side, right? And this one would be right there. See what I mean? See how it's just it's too much the same thing? So I don't want to do that. So now, what are we going to do differently is the question. Maybe, let's see if any of these colors will work. These are the dot markers. So I purchased this set from Amazon, and I will link to it. I have it linked in the description of the video as well. But these are dot markers. What's really cool about dot markers, and I saw them somewhere and thought, oh my gosh, that's genius for what we want to do, because remember, I'm always looking for bullet ideas, right? So, oh, I just had another idea, maybe. Well, let's see. Let's look first, color-wise. I did a little swatch so I would know what all I was always looking for. Salmon, I'm like island coral, I think, or the yellow could be fun. So let's pull out yellow and let's pull out island coral. That is island coral. Okay, but this is what they are. They have on one end, there is a regular marker. So that's the regular marker end. And then on the other end, dot, right? So all I do is I do that, and I can vary the size, the circumference of that dot or bullet based on how much pressure I'm applying, right? So there is the island coral, and then this would be the yellow. So let's see if maybe yellow. Well, I guess either one. There's also a black, and the black I probably use most frequently just because I use a lot of black. And the black I will link to as well. That one doesn't come in a set. That one's just by itself. Or I didn't get it in a set. Maybe there's a set that has black. But all right, so now I can use my little scratch paper here again for the exact same thing to see if I like the way it looks. Ooh, yellow's fun. I think yellow, because I think the island coral is going to be too, let's do this so we don't get too distracted. Oh yeah, no doubt, right? The island coral is not the right. It's like a mixture between the orange and the pink. So definitely not island coral. Sorry, island coral, you're out. Okay, so let's do the yellow. The yellow, well, there's just one yellow. It's called Summer Sun. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do I want to try to do 10 again? I guess we'll see. There's my first one. And I will not write my list in yellow. I will write it in black just because it's not my thing. And I know I won't like it. So nothing wrong with that. If you want to use a colored marker for your list, you absolutely should. You do you. I will do me. Okay, let's see. Oh, there's so many good ones, you guys. There's so many good ones. I think my favorite is this one. Gag me with a spoon. And that is Valley Girl. If you haven't seen Valley Girl, it's very hard to find anymore. It came out when I was probably in high school, so long time ago. Nicolas Cage is in it. But anyhow, so funny. And it is like quintessential 80s. I mean, it's just hilarious. So Gag Me with a Spoon. Cross that off my list. Oh, this one. Joey, how you doing? I didn't quite say that right. How you doing? Yeah. I think the emphasis is on the you, right? How you doing? I think that's what it is. How you doing? And that is Friends. Joey Tribbiani, how you doing? Okay, next one. Also set in New York City. No soup for you. No soup for you. And that is Seinfeld. No soup for you. The soup Nazi. Well, that's what they called him. When, was it Kramer? I think Kramer he got banned from the soup store, the soup restaurant or whatever, the soup fast food place. The guy, no soup for you. And poor Kramer, I think it was so sad. All right. This is another one. This one I use all the time. Usually in our lists. Make it work. Make it work. And that is Tim Gunn from Project Runway. Make it work. He's got to make it work. Tim Gunn from Project Runway. Make it work. All right. The next one. I don't know how you spell her name. Marsha. Again, all of these are like you have to have the right voice inflection, right? And that was the Brady Bunch. So I've got to get really teeny. The Brady Bunch. We actually talked about that, I remember, on our big 52-week celebration because I think, is it Scarlett O'Hara? Is that the YouTube name? Her name was Marsha, and we were all joking about the Marsha from the Brady Bunch. Marsha. That's when Jan, the middle child, was so sad for whatever. Next one. Survey says. That's Family Feud, right? Survey says. Hold on. F-E-U-D? F-U-E-D. F-E-U-D? I think it's F-E-U-D. I don't know. It looks weird. Anyhow, it looks like I wrote Family Food. I'll fix it if I didn't spell that right. The next one. And this is one that definitely, I know my kids would have no clue. They would probably know Survey Says. But this one, they would not have a clue. Norm! Remember Norm from Cheers? Every time he'd walk in the bar, people would say, Norm! So welcoming. Okay. So let's see what we have next. I'm curious, you guys. So remember, for the giveaway, and I hope you're talking in the chat. I should say, I hope we're talking in the chat about some of these things. Because I'm sure there's going to be a ton from the chat that I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot that. I can't believe I forgot that. So remember though, for the giveaway, and the giveaway is an assortment of the Vicki Boutin Color Study Collection, products from the collection. Leave a comment, not in the chat, but in the video of something you wrote down. And even if you're not listing, one of your most favorite or memorable ad slogans, and then or TV or movie iconic line. All right. But I'm interested in what you guys have on your list. This was a funny one. I'll write this one next. Nanu. Nanu, right? Mork and Mindy with Robin Williams. Aw. Yep. Nanu, Mork and Mindy. Gosh, that sitcom was a long time ago, right? Really long time ago. I'm starting to drift. My lines are trying to drift. I'm going to have to correct. Okay, next one. I need something smaller. This is funny. Hey. My Y's are weird. Those aren't how I... No. Those are not how I normally do my Y's. Yeah, that's really weird. And those were... How am I going to fix this now? That was from Happy Days. I guess I'll write that right there, but that's kind of weird. Happy Days. Make it work, Lael. Make it work. Hey, the Fonz, right? The Fonz, Henry Winkler. All right, next up. This was a funny one. Kiss My Grits. Remember that? Kiss My Grits. That was Flo on Alice. Remember, they worked in the diner, and Flo would always say, kiss my grits to Mel, the cook or the guy who owned it or whatever. Yeah, funny. Kiss my grits. Actually, I shouldn't say the guy that owned it. For all I know, Alice or Flo could have owned it. All right, this next one. Smiles, everyone, smiles. Remember that? From Fantasy Island. which Fantasy Island, boy, it always looks so wonderful, but then they got really scary. Some of them were super scary. Well, when I was a kid, scary. I'm sure not scary now, but weird things would happen on the Fantasy Island. All right, next up. This is another Brady Bunch reference. Pork chops and applesauce. I think that was Bobby Brady. I don't even remember the episode or what it was about. Or maybe it was Peter. Pork chops and applesauce. Maybe it wasn't when Peter was losing his voice, not losing his voice, but when his voice was changing. I don't know. Pork chops and applesauce. Brady Bunch. And it's funny because you guys, the things on my list, some of the things on my list, you might be like, what? Never even heard that. That would never make my list. And that's what makes listing, I think, so fun. Because a lot of us, probably none of us would have the exact same list. Because we all have different things that we remember. A lot of us grew up in different times. So what someone may have on their list, I may have never even heard because they're older than me. Or likewise, if my kids made something like this and they're 20 and 23, they would probably have something not probably. They would definitely have different things on their list, and probably what they had on their list I would never have even heard of. So just kind of fun. Let's see. I think the last one I will do is, what you talking about, Willis? And it's like, what? I'll just say, what you talking about, Willis? What are you talking about, Willis? And that was from Different Strokes. Gary Coleman. What you talking about, Willis? All right, so there's my list. There's my other list. Now I need something down here. But I think for down here, I don't think I want to do the washi thing again. So let's look for something that would be like washi, long and skinny, but not washi. So you make the world more colorful. This is the stuff that matters. Definitely not, because these things don't matter, right? Let's see. These are all too big. So now let's look here in the sticker book and see if there's anything in here. Gotta love it. That could work. Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. Gotta love it. Yeah, gotta love it won't work. Okay, so look at lots of things here. Let's see. It's all in how you look at things. That could work. Laugh lots. That could for sure work, right? Laugh lots could work very well because look at laugh lots. Because these are funny things, right? And that's perfect because it's the same colors that I use. No, it didn't have to be the same colors, but I like that there. And on this one, I don't really need a lot of other decoration. Like here, I wanted to add a couple more things, but here I don't because those flowers are so big and they are really the biggest, that's your eye definitely focuses there. So I don't need to worry about like here. I wanted to add something that would kind of draw my eye down to this corner. Here, my eye is completely just drawn, here, no problem. So, all right. Oh, those were fun. Okay, last thing I need to do is now adhere those into my insert. All right, there we go. Put this guy back. So everything that I've used, I have linked in the description of the video. If you have any questions about anything that I've used, well, now's a great time to ask because I am in the chat. Hopefully I'm in the chat, right? Hopefully. And if not, you can always just leave a comment on the video. So leave a comment on the video. And when you leave a comment on the video, I automatically get notified. And then I can respond to you. Or the other easy way is if you just go to my website. Oh, okay, that refill is done. So, hang tight. I need to get another refill. Don't trip over the light cord, Will. Well, that was good. That lasted most of the time. Hang on. gosh, now I don't remember what I was saying. I do not remember. Oh, Lale, careful. Sometimes we go too fast, right? We need to take our time. I need to take my own advice. All right. There we go. Oops. That's a little bit sticky because it already has the adhesive on it. Am I in? I think so. Oh. Oh, there it is. All right, there we go. Back on track. Oh, nice and smooth. I love it, love it, love it when you put a new refill in because it's so nice and smooth. All right, so here we go. This now is just, I'm adhering over onto this page. Oh, I know what I was saying. I think I was saying the easiest way, if you have questions, is probably just to go to my website and click on Contact Us. And then you can email me from there. So website is laylebymail.com. And that is linked in the description of the video as well. Love that pattern too. That's so cute. That little kind of petite flower. Alrighty, here we are. This guy goes right there. So they don't match, but they coordinate. And I know some of you struggle with having two lists that are totally different like that, right? Two totally different looks, totally different colors, totally different style. And so, but they're two separate lists. If you struggle with something like that, and that's okay, right? If that bugs you, you do you, don't worry about it. But this is a great way to kind of compensate for that. You can do two different lists side by side, but use product that coordinates, and then maybe it doesn't stand out as much. So I need to date these, and I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to slide right in there and put today's date. Now, for me, today is April 15th. So I'm writing April 15th. If you were doing it today, Saturday, then you would write April 17th, or you could just write April 2021. You could even just write 2021 if you wanted, because one day you won't care that it was April. You certainly won't care that it was the 15th, but it might be nice to know that it was 2021. Okay, friends, that is going to wrap up our session today. So I am going to turn off the lights. Ooh, that'll be interesting. I'm going to turn off the lights. It's getting a little bit darker. So let's see what this looks like. And I'm going to flip the camera. So if you get dizzy, close your eyes, arms and legs inside the right at all times. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we are again. All right, now I need to remember I need to go, and I won't edit them. Hang on, let's see. Okay, I won't edit the videos, but what I will do is I need to basically put them together because there's now 2 videos. I wasn't planning on having there be 2 videos, but I forgot to plug in, so that's what happens. Okay, friends, so I hope that I've been able to chat with you at least for a little bit. That was fun. I had to jam that into a really busy day before I head out of town, but I'm so glad that I did, and I am always so glad that I do these. Even though if I wait to the very last minute and I'm trying to get things ready and I'm like, oh my gosh, why do I have to do this again? And then I am so glad when I do it. I think that's for me, and I think for a lot of us, that's what crafting is for us. Whether you scrapbook, or whether you knit, or whether you work in your planner, or whether you do what we do, where you do creative listing, whatever it is, it's an outlet. And for me, when I get stressed out, I have a lot to do. It's usually the last thing that will be on my list of things to do because it's play. But it's almost like going out and exercising. Once you do it, or once you're in the middle of it, you're so glad you did. So I am so glad I did this. I will be back for sure live next week. So next week will be, let's see, April 24th. So we will be live again next week. And remember the giveaway, leave a comment, not in the chat, but leave a comment on the video itself, telling me one of the your favorite, like most memorable commercial, TV commercial slogans, ad slogans, or your TV movie iconic lines. Basically something if you were listening with us from the last two lists. All right, friends, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week next week. And I will see you hopefully next Saturday. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm not stopping. Okay, weird. Why aren't I stopping? Okay, well, I'm not going to worry about it because I'll figure out why I'm not stopping, but I'll then cut a lot of this out. Bye, friends.